Right, Scrafters, we're into game 2 between Coop and Lizard. This is, of course, a best of 5, now that we're in round 3. So, Kupermeister taking the last game. And, yeah, they're, both of the opening builds were solid, but it was Kupermeister that got some harass in with the Mewtwo's. Lizard did have harass units. There were oracles on the map, but we never actually saw them do anything. Unless I missed something, they never got in and killed a mineral line, which is 100% what oracles do. They never tagged an army to track its movements either. Not that we get much army movement in the EMS league, but in the event that we did, they're really, really good for that. So yeah, not making the most. I love the shadow of the big fish there, or whatever it is. Not really making the most of those harass units that he had available. There was also a couple of pretty early robos that could have got a couple of warp prisms out, and of course that can be really annoying to deal with as well. Sneak the warp prism in around the back, just warp in zealots, warp in charge lots, just get them in mineral lines, keep your opponent pulled apart a little bit, keep the worker numbers down. It's ever so important against Zerg that you keep the workers down, because unlike Protoss, unlike Terran, replacing workers costs larva, and if you're spending larva on workers, you're not building units with them, and that's a really critical difference. So it's always worth, as a Protoss or a Terran playing against the Zerg, it's always worth getting in and just chipping away at the worker numbers, certainly in the early to mid game, because by doing so, you're forcing your opponent to use larvae that they don't want to use for that purpose. So, as well as, of course, which is equally applicable to all races, they have to spend minerals on those replacement workers that they don't want to have to spend. Killing workers in general in StarCraft is a good thing, but it's extra bonus, if you like, for killing Zerg workers. So this pylon is utterly scouted. This one is not. So, there could be almost a double bluff here. Coop sees this, and that isn't a bad position for a proxy Stargate here, shield battery. You can dodge into the natural, kill some stuff and never die. But I'm not 100% sure why he isn't coming down to clean this up. It's always worth doing, because killing a pylon, you never know, you might just, like, it isn't going to be the case here, but you might supply block your opponent, and that's always a good thing. Any little bits of hurt that you can do to mess up their build is always a good thing. So it's a dark shrine. As a location for a dark shrine, like, I appreciate hiding it, but like, why not? I don't know, here, somewhere really out of the way. This seems like somewhere that you could very well have an overlord see it, but it hasn't, and it's fine. I like hiding stuff on the map. I think it's a recognized thing in StarCraft to hide your tech on the map, so that if the Lings come in, get a scout or whatever, the overlord flies in, gets a scout, it doesn't actually know what's up. So let's take stock. How much detection does Kupermeister have? At present, it is 0. He has got a lair, so he can turn overlords into overseers. How much can these DTs get done in the meantime? If they're well split, 2 in this mineral line and 2 in this mineral line, a lot is the short answer. A lot. By the way, I'm loving the creep spread here. It is brilliant. The important thing with creep spread in the early-ish game, I wouldn't stop here. Because you're going to get this hatchery. It's only 300. I would have split the DTs up and had 2 in each mineral line, and that's how you're going to get the most sort of value from them. You don't want to fight really underneath this overseer. By splitting them up, you force your opponent. Does he have an overseer on all those positions? Probably not. And if you get them into the men, you recognize the spar, you snipe the spar, you snipe the pull, you snipe the lair. Painful. There he is, there's the big fella. And that hurts a great deal. Sniping this base, it's just not that painful. It's only 300 minerals, and yeah, that's great and all, but Coop's got 2,000 in the bank. Let's see what the mutants get done. There's no reaction here from Lizard. The workers haven't been pulled at all. So actually quite a few going down there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, reasonable numbers, 14 workers dead. There goes the 15th, not quite the 16th. So yeah, those slow reactions actually causing a reasonable bit of pain. And unlike Coop, Lizard does not have a great bank. Does have a worker lead though. How come Cooper's got such a big bank with so few workers? That is kind of indicative. Look, there's why, that we are not macroing as well as we should. Look how many idle larvae there are with all that money in the bank. There's never, you shouldn't have it. You just shouldn't. You know, even if you're thinking, oh, but I don't have the gas, why, you know, turn those into lings. You'll have another set of larvae in a minute. So why not turn them into lings, send them across the map, suicide them into this mineral line and trade those lings for workers. Our Protoss is coming in on a move command. No, shoot. Oh my, oh, that is very, very painful indeed. Yeah, yay. Oh my, oh, duh. I mean, let's look at the army supply. It's 81 to 66, but you know, there's mutas and corruptors in the mix. How long does it take mutas to kill an immortal? 3-4 days? This many immortals with stalkers, you crush all this. Crush it. You know what I mean? Like you had... Yeah, it only takes 3 immortals to one-shot a roach. So with 6 immortals, were there 6? I feel like there might have been 6. Were there 6? I've rewound too far. Ye gods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you know, those roaches are literally 2 at a time. Pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up. I mean, crush that ground army. The way to play that, because obviously harder to fight the mutas, but you've got more stalkers than he's got mutas. So actually, if you're focusing the mutalisks with the stalkers, the stuff on the ground, fighting the stuff on the ground left to its own devices, you just win that. You win it. The corruptors can't help. But look, none of this stuff shooting. Horrible. So loses just a huge amount of army for no good reason whatsoever. Even if you felt you couldn't win, you couldn't beat the stuff in the air, you kill that ground army and you recall your immortals home. Maybe you lose the stalkers, doesn't really matter. This stuff's coming now for you, and it should all be dead. This army shouldn't even exist. So, you know, Lizard has no one to blame but himself, because really, he just walked through a fight that he could have won. That was painful. GG.